let's go ahead and kick this show off, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get some sevens in the chat if you can hear the sound of my voice, and you can also see me on your screen as well. Let's take a look at some of the I'm so happy and grateful nows in the chat. Let's take a look at some of the I'm so happy and grateful nows in the chat. You definitely have a moment to be able to share this out with a friend, a family member, somebody that you care about on today. I'm definitely going to drop on you guys something that has been resonating in my spirit. So definitely you have a moment to be able to do that as well. I'm so happy and grateful now for my life in this moment, now for God's grace and mercy, and now that I'm walking in confidence. I'm happy and grateful for God's presence in every area of my life, in this family, consistent profits, and a successful chairman run. I'm happy and grateful for being a part of this amazing family, Retired at 365, for new possibilities and for the change of elevating financially because of this community. I'm so happy and grateful now for my growing family, Retired at 365 family, and another day to be the best version of myself. Everybody, tell Paul congratulations. He just had a young baby on this week, guys. Added to the big three, right? Super excited for him as well. So definitely give Paul congratulations for me in the chat. I'm so happy and grateful now for time, for understanding that may not be on my own by the Lord that surpasses everything here on earth, and for attracting everything and everyone imperative to building my business with ease. I'm so happy and grateful now to be a chairwoman 25 by November 1st, 2020, to have taken my trade account from $49 to $600 this week. Say that. And to vibrate on a higher level thanks to my Retired in 365 family and my family. I'm very thankful and grateful now for God's bountiful blessings, family, life, and endless possibilities. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have access to these calls to renew my mind daily. I have another day to re-engineer my mind towards my goals and purpose, and that I can continue to inspire others to aspire to greatness. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got a couple more, and then we're going to go ahead and kick it off. I'm so happy and grateful now for the ability to breathe. I'm so happy and grateful now for the ability to think. I'm so happy and grateful now for the ability to have conversations with the Most High directly. Say that. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have the capability to differentiate my emotions, the intellect of self-analysis, and the ability to remedy it. I'm so happy and grateful now for life, another day, to walk in my purpose and to save more lives. I'm so happy and grateful now for the ability to make a decision, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about a particular decision that everybody on this call has to make sure that they make, right? Let's talk about a particular decision that everybody on this call has to make sure that they make. You have to make a decision on today that you are going to operate in your true self. You have to make a decision on today to say that I'm going to operate confidently, right? I'm going to speak boldly, right? I'm not going to be afraid to be who I know I am, to be who I know that God has called me to be. So, on today, I want to talk about your confidence level. And I'm going to be referencing the self-confidence formula. If you want to follow along, you can look up self-confidence formula on Google, or you can go to page 36 and Think and Grow Rich. So before I really dive into this particular formula, I want to ask you, how do you feel about yourself on today? Right? How do you feel about yourself on today? How do you perceive yourself on today? When you look in the mirror, when you wake up, when it's time to brush your teeth, right? What kind of feelings, what kind of emotions are rendered when you look at this person in the mirror, right? I really want you to think about that. And why is that important? That's important simply because how you see yourself is exactly how the world will see you. Drop a 777 if you can resonate with that, right? How you see yourself is exactly how the world will see you. So, how do you see yourself? right? Taking a listen to conceive, believe, and achieve. David talks about, I saw it and I was it. So what are you seeing? Oftentimes people make the mistake of seeing and focusing on their current situation, seeing and focusing on the lack, seeing and focusing on the less than, right? And what creates our emotions, words and images. So if I'm seeing those things and I'm constantly hearing those things because I'm using my mouth and I'm saying it, what kind of emotions will come from that, right? Negative emotions. And as we know from the book we were reading last night, when you allow negative emotions to take root in your mind, you're allowing the devil, watch this, you're allowing the devil to have more room in your mind to control you to do what you don't want to do. So you have to make a decision and say that I'm going to think for myself. It talked about how the most dangerous people were people that had the ability to think and people that had the ability to open up others' minds to thinking. So, what do I need to make sure that I do? Right? I need to make sure that I hold on to a certain level of self confidence every single day. I briefly touched on it last week, but let's really dive into it so you can identify, man, if there's certain areas I need to grow in my confidence in myself, I can begin to grow on those areas starting on today. Right? I can begin to grow in those areas starting on today. So, first, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. What's your definite purpose in life? You have to identify that. If you read the book, it says that you have to identify, man, what's my definite purpose in life? How many people am I going to help? How much money am I going to make uh, uh, as a result of the people that I make it a point to help? And then understanding that I know the confidence comes into play from the first line. I know that I have the ability. So do you know that you have the ability? And if you say that you do know it, are you proving it with your action? Are you proving it with your current belief system? I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand. We're going to really break it down today. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment. And I here now promise to render such action. Who are you promising? You're promising yourself. You're promising yourself that you're going to put a demand on your mind. You're going to put a demand on your reticular activating system and say, this is what we're going to do. Right? This is the impact that we're going to make on this world. And you're going to have to come with me. I was listening to an audio from Napoleon Hill, and he talked about how when he was trying to figure out the title of Think and Grow Rich, he sat there on the side of his bed and he demanded his subconscious to give him the title of this book. Right? If you're familiar with the audio, you'll know that the publisher said, hey, listen, if you don't come up with a title for this book by tomorrow, we're going to name it blah, blah, blah. And it was a really random name. It wasn't going to fit with, the context in the particular book. So he went home, he sat on his bed, right? And he did not go to sleep until that name popped up into his mind. How did the name pop up so quickly? How did the name pop up so efficiently? He put a demand on his subconscious. And the way he worded it, he was like, listen, my subconscious mind was like, okay, this dude is really serious about this. Let me open up the floodgates of information to give him the title that he needed. Hence, Think and Grow Rich was adopted. I really need you to get this. Right? I really need you to get this. Why do I need you to get this? Because if you can have the wherewithal, if you can have the resolve that regardless of what it's currently looking like, that you can put a demand on your subconscious and say that this is going to happen in my business this month. This is going to happen in my trading account this month. This was going to happen in my family life this month. This is what's going to happen in my spiritual life this month. But again, we all know what's taking place. Most people aren't exercising their ability to think. So they just get whatever the world decides to give them. You have to make it a point to exercise your ability to think. Right? So I here now promise to render such action. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind. If you really get this, right, then the quantum leap is here for you in 2020. If you really get the second one, the quantum leap is here for you in 2020. I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Think about any lack that you have attracted into your life. Think about any bad situation that you've been in. And if you can be honest with yourself, you can be honest with yourself and say that, man, I attracted this to me. It was the dominant thought of my mind, right? It was the dominating thought of my mind, and what took place, it eventually reproduced itself in outward physical action, which was the bad thing that you didn't want to happen anyway. Is somebody understanding what I'm talking about on today? I feel like I'm talking to myself on today, because the moment that you get this, you will stop talking down to yourself, right? You will stop talking bad about yourself. You will stop talking bad about your current situation. You will stop putting so much emotion behind your current situation. And you will simply begin to operate from the person that you know you really are. That's why about 2-3 weeks ago, I talked to you guys about the importance of living in La La Land. What is La La Land? A land that is not controlled by my five senses. So how can I operate in that land? I can operate from a spirit of patience. I can operate from a spirit of gratefulness, because I understand that what I focus on is exactly what I'm going to get over time. Let's use David, for example. There was an audio that he recently put out, and he talked about how he wrote down how he wanted to make $500,000 a month in 2013, but it didn't take place in his life until about 2017, 18. And what really happened was every year up until the manifestation took place, he actually made less money. Right? He actually made less money. He actually went backwards. And that's what happens to people. They have the confession up, they have their signs and wonders up. But when it doesn't happen in 30, 60, 90 days, they begin to think, man, is this thing going to happen for me? And what happens is they change their confession. So the GPS in your mind that's going to take you wherever you say to go, here's the, okay, you're changing your confession. You're giving me a set of instructions that's telling me to go this way, but you said you wanted to go this way, but you're the boss, so we're going this way. right? So you have to make sure that you don't change your confession. His confession stayed the same. Those signs stayed up. Those wonders stayed up. And what took place after those signs and wonders stayed up? Gradually, eventually, it will seek expression through some practical means. What's the practical means? In this example, the practical means is this particular concept. The way he worded it was, listen, God gave Chris Terry the vision to make this company a reality because my son has a sign up that says, listen, I need to make $500,000 a month, and I can't do it in my current situation. He goes and makes it. He says, hey, he's gonna come. Right? 2016 it came. 2018 it happened. Gradually, eventually. And here's the deal with the gradually part and the eventually part. Some people can't really stay down in the and period. I tell Paris this all the time. You have to have a certain stay down ability. You have to have a certain stay down ability. What does that mean? That means that regardless of what takes place, I'm not going outside. You have to have a certain level of stay down ability so you can actually practice the principles and get the chance to participate in the promise. See, a lot of people, you're practicing the principles right now, but you don't give yourself a chance to participate in the promise because you can't stay down, because you can't take a couple hits, because you can't take a couple losses and bounce back effectively. You have to take those losses. It's not for you. It's for the individuals coming behind you. So they can say, okay, when it's my turn, I have to have a certain level of resolve, right? David also talked about that on, I think he gave us 20 characteristics, right? That you want to make sure that you hone in on to actually up your leadership. And one of them was resolve. One of them was resolve. See, in 2017, if I go through these participants, right? None of y'all was in the business back then, except for Charles. Let me see, Charles. Shonda might have been in, I think. Let me see. No, none of y'all. No. What does that mean? That means that there were hundreds, if not thousands of people that their stay down ability was incorrect. That means that it was hundreds, if not thousands of people that had the vision, that had the signs, right? It was a dominating thought of their mind at that particular time, but they couldn't stay down in the and period. They couldn't stay down for the gradually aspect, for the eventually aspect, for it to come to pass for them. That's why I said, right, regardless of how long it takes for you to win, what you gonna do? Everybody wants their quantum leap to take place this month, next month, this year. Charles said this on a call the other day. You're gonna have to work anyway. So if I'm gonna have to work anyway, I might as well stay down regardless of how long it takes. If the miracle takes 5 years, Lord, I thank you. The miracle takes 10 years, Lord, I thank you. If the miracle takes 15 years, Lord, I thank you. But why can't people say that? People can't say that because they see people winning at a rapid pace and say, man, I should be winning at that pace. I I should actually be having those kind of results right now. I've been staying down. I've been having people quit my group. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. There's always a certain level of sacrifice that you didn't see. See, nobody on this call has seen the sacrifices I've seen. Nobody. And that's how I understand that regardless of how long the manifestation takes, I'll still be able to get on stage and say, Lord, I thank you. But you really have to ask yourself that, regardless of how long it's going to take for you, can you still be happy and grateful now? Can you still be happy and grateful now? And that's why you have to really identify, man, what am I really grateful for? That's why Javon is telling you, listen, you gotta take it a step further on your happy and grateful nows. I'm grateful I got a nose to smell. You feel me? Like I'm grateful that I can see you on this particular call right now, that I have two eyes to see. I'm grateful that I have a pair of glasses to be able to increase my vision. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm grateful that I actually had clothes to put on. Do you understand what I'm saying? And honestly, being in America, right, can definitely put you in a place to where you feel like you're entitled to some things. Do you understand? I got people in my family back home that everything in their crib is running off of generators. Do you understand what I'm saying? Going to, getting buckets, going to go get water, stuff like that. Like, stop playing. Some of y'all living in luxury apartments. Some of y'all living in 5, 6, 7 bedroom homes. But you looking sad because you didn't get your business goal the week that you wanted it. I said, Lord, I'm so happy and grateful now for AC. Word to Charles. I'm so happy and grateful now for AC, for air condition. But are you for real happy and grateful now? I was talking to my wife yesterday. I said, listen, you got to adopt a spirit to where I'm going to be happy whether I'm broke or rich. Do you understand? You got to adopt that. I'm going to be happy, broke or rich. I'm going to be happy, negative in a bank account, 100,000 in a bank account. I'm going to be happy, broke or rich. Because money doesn't equal happiness. I'm going to be happy whether I'm broke or rich. Why? Because my gratitude is there. And he knows that I'm grateful because I'm showing it. I'm not just saying it. That's what you got to hold on to. He gonna know you grateful and you ready to receive when you're showing it and you're not just saying it. And not showing it for clout, showing it because that's who you really are. Being in the car is hot as a mug, man. I'm grateful. Let's go to number 3. Third, I know through the principle of auto-suggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Come on. He is really just giving you or positioning it in so many different words that, listen, all you got to do is stay down and make sure your confession doesn't change. Because if I have the power to create with my words, what business do I have creating problems with my words? If I really know that I'm little God, right? What business do I have? What business do I have speaking things that I don't want to take place? Man, I wish I could remember the story in the Bible, but I'll give you this. You might remember if I piece it together like this. It was talking about a gentleman um who's about to have a son, God told him to name the son a particular name, and basically his belief system was incorrect to where God had to literally shut him up, to where this man can't say nothing until it comes to pass because his words might make it come back void. I'll find it and I'll give it to y'all later on. But his words, right, might make it come back void. So you have the power to create with your words. Auto suggestion. Thank you, Zachariah. Auto suggestion. Auto suggestion. What am I saying to myself? You got to be able to see darkness and effectively speak light. What's the difference between speaking light and effectively speaking light? You can be speaking light, but still sounding sad. So the way that you effectively speak light is through your posture, is where you can take a look at that bank account. You can take a look and be like, man, you know, this needs to be taken care of, this needs to be taken care of, etc. Man, that's paid for. Everything is paid for. Everything is paid for. Everything I touch is blessed. Money comes to me easy and freely. You could take a look at your back office and be like, man, folks is not getting involved in my business. You take a look at that back office and you say, man, new and successful people with influence are joining my business every single day. Because what's going to happen? Your subconscious is eventually going to be like, all right, dog, I got it. Your subconscious is eventually going to give in, and it's like a little door in your head going, open the door for you and be able to give you exactly what it is that you want. But you have to keep your confession the same long enough. You can't be too cool for the corny stuff. Because here's where your confession changes. Your confession changes when you begin to talk to people that aren't operating in la la land. And they looking at you like, man, you're real life crazy right now. You got stuff that need to be taken care of. You talking about this, you talking about belief this, belief that. We got to get them some help. And that's why you have to make sure to operate in that place, especially while you're growing your strength, especially while you're growing your character, especially while you're growing your resolve, to where those kind of comments won't mean anything to you. Right? You can't let people that you're going to end up taking care of anyway knock you out the game. That's good. You can't let people that you're going to end up taking care of them anyway as it pertains to your family. So you can't let them beat you out the game. If I know I'm the black sheep, if I know that, man, who's going to make a shake in my family? Man, not you. Definitely not you. Definitely not you. Well, damn, well, true. I guess it's on me. They not meant to get it. In the moment that you stop looking for others outside of your mastermind alliance, the moment that you stop looking for others outside of your mastermind alliance to get it, everything will change for you. 4, I had clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. It's not even saying never stop trying until it happens. It's saying never stop trying until you develop the self-confidence to make it happen. Until you develop the self-confidence to make it happen. And that was the breakthrough for me. I've read this so many times, but that was the most recent breakthrough for me. Like, man, the key is simply self-confidence. So what do I have to make sure that my confidence stays intact? Okay, what controls my emotions? Seeing, hearing. What are they telling me to do in number 4? Write it down. What does writing it down do for me? Allows me to see it. Where does the hearing come into play? Me reading what I just wrote down. And then where does the emotions come into play? Because I made this a dominating thought of my mind. So regardless of the challenges, this is what I'm looking at. Fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. You got to make a decision today that you're never going to tell a lie again. You got to stop lying. You got to keep it 100. There's no reason to lie because now you got to keep up with that lie. You got to make a decision to say, man, I'm going to be a person with a certain level of integrity, right? Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. So what does that mean? That means that I'm a leader. That means that when I do things, I can't just think about my benefit. Will this actively benefit all whom it affects? I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. Charles really helped me understand that to get to the next level, you simply have to be focused on your servitude. Who can I serve? Whether they're inside or outside of, I don't even know how many people on this call are in my group, but who can I actively serve, whether they're inside or outside of my group, whether they're inside or outside my organization, whether they're inside or outside, whatever the case may be, my family, whatever the case may be. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. Because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. What does that mean for me? That means that I can know that I have the ability. I can realize the dominating thoughts of my mind. I can know through the principle of autosuggestion. I can clearly write it down. But if I have a negative attitude towards another man, another woman on this earth, it's not going to happen for me. If I'm in a if I'm operating, watch this. This is good. This is direct download. If I'm operating from my competitive mind instead of my creative mind, then it's not going to work for me. Then it's not going to work for me. If I have hate in my heart when I think about a certain individual, when a certain individual walks into a room, they make me feel some kind of way, it's not going to work for me. If I have envy, if I'm looking like, man, how did it happen for them? They're not this, they're not that, they're not saved, they're not this, they're not that. If I'm operating with a spirit of jealousy, like, man, they didn't even work hard for that, they didn't do this, they didn't do this, it's not going to happen for me. If I operate from a place of selfishness and say, man, I would help you, but you're not in my group. I would help you, but I'm not getting no residual from that. It's not going to work for me. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. Why do people like Charles believe in me? Because I believe in him. Why do people like Paris believe in me? Because I believe in him. Does that make sense? I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become a self-reliant and successful person. Do me a favor. Drop for me in the chat the two biggest words from that last sentence. And we're coming to a close. I'm gonna read it again, and I want you to identify the two biggest words. Close, very close, gradually, eventually, very close. Watch this. We talked about that at the beginning, but catch this at the end though. Let me read it again. I will sign my name to this formula, committed to memory, repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become a self-reliant and successful person. Self-reliant is one. That's not what I'm looking for. Full faith. Full faith, 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 full faith. Faith that can't be shaken, faith that can't be moved. Faith that can't be moved. So as we come to a close on today, identify, can my faith be moved right now? No. Right, no. Can my faith be moved right now? Absolutely not. And that wasn't a coincidence. I need you to get that. That was not a coincidence. That's directly downloaded. Let's get it, man. Javon, take it away, my friend. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and jump back on here to close the call out. If you caught some value from this, if this made some sense to you, if you can say that I can look at the self-confidence formula from a different perspective, definitely drop a 777 for me in the chat. Right, drop a 777 for me in the chat. I definitely believe in everybody on this call. Make it a point to be in the information. Make it a point to hold the image in your mind of the person that you're looking to become, because that's a successful person. Right, that's a successful person. So on today, let me take